Like many of you, I was anxious to explore all the free camping opportunities that the Southwest has to offer. But I was pleasantly surprised to discover Missouri is a wonderful place for boondocking, legal camping on government land. These are state conservation areas, a lot of fishing and hunting, but they also have campgrounds. Absolutely no fees anytime. This is the Pony Express Conservation Area that I stumbled on outside of Osborne when the Walmart wouldn't let me stay there. It was absolutely gorgeous and quiet. I thought I would share some of the other really great free camping spots I've discovered on this trip. I was on Route 24 going through Kansas. It's a little back road. And I got hungry, so pulled off the road at this restaurant. I was the first customer of the day, but before I left, the place was packed. All freshly prepared, relatively inexpensive, but absolutely delicious. I found this little city park that had like 7 RV hookups with electricity with a 3-day limit. After a couple days on the road, right past Albuquerque was my first destination, the Lmela Pease National Conservation Area. There's actually 2 sites here. There's a national monument park, and then there's this conservation area. This is BLM land, and it's all free. Really nice little campground. Lmela Pease means badlands. This area had heavy volcanic activity all the way through New Mexico, following the Continental Divide. Was a lot of volcanic activity. The land is very barren and rough with all this lava fields and volcanic cones and lots of volcanic landscape. It's really fascinating. I stayed several days because there really was a lot to do. There are trails everywhere. Some of them are hard, some of them are pretty easy. This was a nice one I went on. It was only a couple miles, but it just takes you through this lava field. It's like frozen in time. And although it looks like nothing could possibly grow here, there really was a lot of life. There were parts that reminded me of an old parking lot. I hit Route 60 at Pie Town and followed it all the way through to Phoenix. This was a more adventurous route than I normally would take, but fortunately the weather was great and it really was quite a ride. Of course, I couldn't see most of it. Just about at the halfway point and about 120 miles north of Phoenix, I stopped at the Timber Camp recreation site. This little park is managed by the United States Department of Agriculture, the Forest Service. And it's supposed to be a $10 a night fee, but they had the tube sealed, so I just assumed there was no fee. I didn't pay one anyway. There was no way to pay. And because Phoenix is such an unfriendly city when it comes to nomads, I just rolled right on by and settled in at Saddle Mountain BLM land. I wasn't alone, but there were very few people out here. This is dispersed camping. Of course, it's primitive camping. There are little fire pits people have made out of stones. I tried to find those and not create any more. This is where I spent Christmas, and I actually stayed maybe about a week here. There's plenty to do. There's lots of hiking. Somebody told me there were petroglyphs. It certainly looked like there was prehistoric activity. And just a couple miles down the street is the El Dorado Hot Springs, a quirky little place that I love to go to. For $30 you can camp and soak 24 hours. I never really planned to go to Quartzsite. It doesn't really appeal to me, but I was searching for warmth and it was a little further south. So I scouted out a High Jolly campground. This is a BLM campground. It has the same sort of free dispersed camping format with little stone fire pits here and there. It was almost deserted. So this isn't a campground, but it's worth noting. The Colorado Springs Pioneers Museum. It's only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but it's totally free. The museum's filled with exhibits. Two of their local women they're proud of is Catherine Lee Bates, who wrote America the Beautiful, and she's honored outside the building. And another hometown gal, Elvira. That was a quick little review. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to ask questions. And down in my description area, I'll list all the various websites I go to scout out places to stay.